Okay, so it's been a while since you had Microsoft Project. For that reason, I want to try and recap or do an overview of this assignment. The goal of this assignment is not to test your ability in Microsoft Project. The goal really is to use Microsoft Project to help you so that you can understand what you need to do, all the tasks that you need to do in order to complete the goal of this semester. And the goal of the semester, we look here, is task number 22, and that's a system capable of a single semiotic manual cycle. And if I look at these, this is the starter file. You're going to download this, and you have this to work with. And then let's look at what you're required to do. You're going to create some second level tasks. Well, what are those? That's me going in and saying, okay, let me insert a task here, insert task. And this is a new task, and let me just say miscellaneous task. Well, it's end of arm tool testing. So let's say design of EOAT. And then that doesn't really become a subtask of this one until I come up here and go to task and then make it a subtask. I just bounce it over one with this tool right here, the indent task, and that makes it a second level task. And then I just keep creating more tasks underneath this until I end up with something that looks more like this. And it doesn't look that different right now because if we notice, it's bolded. And in comparison, let's bounce back and forth here. This is the same exact starter file that has been downloaded, but this student has added a bunch of second level tasks underneath the summary tasks that were given to you in the starter file. And if I look back again, this is how it started, and this is how it looks. And you notice you have this little breakdown arrow here that allows you to collapse and expand the end of arm tooling. Here's about 7 tasks that were determined underneath the end of arm tooling, and all he did was insert these tasks, insert a task, highlight it, indented over one, and they became all subtasks or second level tasks of end of arm tooling. Next was to build up a dependency and determine, well, I need to set up a relationship between which of these tasks needed to be done first. And in this case, we ended up with a nice single layer waterfall of tasks that are all interdependent based on the one prior to it. For that reason, we can look at this and say, okay, reprint improved grippers is task 26, is dependent on task 26, which is update CAD model. Well, it's also dependent on 24 and 23, 22 and 21, but you're going to keep it really simple and just say, I just want to know the prior task. If the task before this is dependent on the task before this, is dependent on the task before that, and so on, let's just enter the task that is required to finish this task in the predecessor column. That'll keep it nice and simple rather than put multiple tasks in here. But let's say that you had, say, this task here was these group of tasks, these 3 tasks, weren't related to these at all, and they didn't have any dependency. So say 61 wasn't really a predecessor. So I can take it out here too. I can take it out in that column, or I can take it out in the task itself. I say OK, and now if you look, these 2 tasks are not grouped with these 4 tasks. Just add the task that needs to happen prior to that task's completion or start date. The last step is to enter the dates for each one. And that is going to be you deciding, what do I need to get done first? What is not that important? What can I get done last? And then keep in mind all those interdependencies of what do I need to accomplish in order to get everything done on time. And remember, you can go up here into View and look at second level, and it breaks everything out, so that you can see all the tasks that this student has created underneath all of his summary tasks. You can go 3rd, 4th level, but we're just asking you to go 2 levels deep. And that's basically just creating a grouping of each one of the tasks. Again, I can go back to View, Outline, and Level 1. And then it just folds everything up. Or I can go individually to these and expand them. Hopefully this will be a really useful tool for you to stay on task, recognize your highest priority tasks, and to be able to get done with the system capable of a single automated cycle by the end of the first semester. If you have any questions, come see me.